Peace, kings and queens. What's going on, everybody? Today, I'm going to do a review of The Joker. This movie just came out, in case you didn't realize or didn't watch it. Definitely go check it out. There's going to be some spoilers, just letting you know ahead of time. But I wanted to do a review of it, so I wrote down some notes here. And I'm going to do a little different. I'm going to review The Joker from the mind and the perspective of a therapist, because that's exactly what I am. So stay tuned and let's get into it.
So Smart Productions.
Okay, so The Joker was a excellent movie. I'm gonna break down my review of this, putting on my therapist cap, even though I got my Also Smart Productions hat on, into three categories. So number one, my overall impression of the movie, just talking about like what I thought about the movie, how much I enjoyed it, and everything else like that. Number two, how I connected to the character. Number three, the two paths. I'll explain that later, obviously. And uh, number four, protective factors. And last but not least, a complete psychological breakdown from the way that I saw the movie in general. All right, so let's get into it. All right, number one, my overall impressions of the movie. Yeah, it was dope. It was a really great, well done, well crafted piece of cinema. Like just in terms of being a good film, top notch. The way it was shot, the way that it allowed people to really invest in the characters, mostly obviously the Joker, and how the supporting characters and cast didn't necessarily overtake the Joker's presence, but accented it. Like every person who played a role as a sub character or a supporting character really demonstrated a piece or a part of the Joker that needed to be explained or really fleshed out so that you could better understand who the man behind the makeup or the mask is. So I really enjoyed the movie. So overall impressions, I would give the movie probably like a good 7, 8 out of 10. I'm not a movie reviewer, so by all means, like if you feel like, "Boo, what you talking about was perfect, 10 out of 10," you can go ahead and just say that. It's okay. I'm not really. That's not what I do. That's not the purpose of this video. So, but if you agree with me, hey, a good 7, 8-ish out of 10. That's the way I look at it. So number two, how do I connect to the character? Woo! Now, first of all, this is scary even saying that you connect to the character of the Joker in general, right? That's kind of weird to say, but that's kind of the point of the movie, if you ask me. It's so that you can connect to a character that you wouldn't necessarily want to connect to or want to envision yourself having some shared characteristics with. But that's the beauty of it at all. Is in this work of cinema, they show you glimpses of the human side of the Joker that allows you to identify certain pieces and parts of yourself that align a little bit with him. So in ways that I connected to the Joker, it's being in a place of being downtrodden, being in a place of just being down in the dumps, not being in a good place mentally in terms of suffering from depression or being in such a psychological space where you're losing out on social or just social interactions with people who are in more in a positive pace, positive space rather, and you're more so focused on just negativity, and you're kind of stuck in this cycle of just negative thoughts, and it just keeps repeating itself, and it seems like there's no end to it. So I can relate to that. I can also relate to the fact that you want that desire to want to connect to others. You saw throughout the movie him wanting to connect to other human beings and really uh, just be with them and connect on a human level. Like, hey, I'm here, see me. Although it was such a struggle for him. You see that with him playing, the scene with him playing with a little boy on the bus, and then the mom getting mad at him, and then his whole condition, which I definitely want to talk about at the end. when it comes to number 5. But that's how I connected to the Joker. I really saw myself in a place of when I was down, I saw myself being in some similar spots in terms of the mentality and the mental space, headspace that I was in. It was like, man, I was really down. And I identified with being down at one point. Which leads me to number 3, which is one of the biggest concepts I wanted to touch on, which is the two paths. The two paths is a concept I've come up with that basically states that when you do go through something traumatic and you do go through something that might have been detrimental to your mental health, you have two paths, and usually, depending on your situation and your circumstances, you're either going to go down one path or the other. So one path is destruction, self-hate, blaming, gaslighting, and not taking accountability. It's really going down the dark road. Basically, everything that the Joker went through, he went down this second path. The other path is the path of acknowledgement, acceptance, maybe some grieving, but understanding really is the other path, understanding. And another way to look at this is like the story of the two wolves, basically like the wolf that one is like ambitious and one is successful. The other person is lazy and doesn't do anything. And it's like whichever wolf you feel, whichever animal you feed, whichever part of you that you give the most energy to is where you're going to end up. And unfortunately, the Joker put most of his time and energy not towards the understanding and betterment of himself, but more so towards the lashing out and subjecting others to feeling that pain so that they can actually relate to it. That's definitely go more into the part 5 when breaking down the psychology of it. But yeah, that's the two paths, the roads that you can take. And it's really important because I think there's a certain point where you do reach a fork in the road, and it's like, what kind of man or woman or person am I going to be?